stars, and welcome back to If Underfell by the darkpetal16. 10 likes in this video and we will continue our journey through If Underfell. I know what you're all thinking, if you're not up to date on this one, yes, I completed If Underfell the first time round and I covered every single route and as well as every single ending I could possibly find. We are back here because voice acting was added. Now I need to clarify that the voice acting, it does not mean that every single sentence that comes out of said character's mouth is voiced. No, that is not what it means. It means that only certain lines of dialogue are technically voiced. So we're going after our main skelly boys because they're the ones with the voices. So we've got Gaster, Papyrus, and Sans. I chose to go for Gaster first because he's the one with the shortest out of them all. So, that being said, if you can hear a fan in the background, too bad. It is super hot here in the UK. And I don't want to melt and pass out like I did last time. So a quick recap of where we are in this adventure when you first discover Gaster. You literally have to travel all the way to Hotland, and while you're conversing with Flowey over whether or not it is a good idea to save Dr. Alphys, because I mean Flowey raises a couple of good points here now about Alphys, especially in the Underfella you decide that you will use your wonderful talents of resetting. Because why not cheat your way to get through a door? Now, for everybody else that constantly asks me what the passcode is for said door in underswap, my hint was literally, it's the guy that has hands that lives in Underfell. Apparently, a few people at least got what I was talking about, so I'm just going to flat out say it. The code you need for that thing in underswap, you literally get it from Gaster in Underfell. He literally tells you the code. And you just use that in underswap. Okay? Good. Fantastic. Everybody with me? Great. So, we're just going after the romance route for Gaster. And I will only feature scenes in which Gaster appears. Now, again, a reminder, that does not mean he's going to voice all of his lines. And if you can hear a fan in the background, too freaking bad. You're going to have to cope with it. Just like I have to cope with this wretched heat. Because heat sucks. I'm in the UK, we're not used to the weather. We're used to things being like, you know, baby steps. You can probably also see that the sprites have had a little bit of a glow up. First of all, my literal persona has had a little bit of more of an updated glow up and she's got the locket on. Gaster also got a little bit of a brighten up, and Flowey finally got rid of that wretched little line that was all the way around him. Anyway, let's get going, shall we? Oh, wonderful. I can't wait to see how this goes. Alright, so. You approach the door. Someone here needs help, and it's up to you to save them, and you will. You are filled with determination. Oh no, Sans, that wretched word has come back again. It's okay, bro. This is not horror tale, so you don't have to deal with their soul. But still, I'm pretty much triggered now every time I hear the word determination. I keep thinking of my endless suffering of constantly waiting for this human to give up and let me, you know, reap their soul. I know, bro. I feel for you. It's okay. It's okay. If you haven't seen that one, go and check out poor Papyrus' suffering in the horror tale by none other than darkpetal16. You make an attempt to the keypad. Most passcodes give you 3 tries, so 2 guesses should be fine. That is, if you weren't dealing with Dr. Alphys of Underfell, because she doesn't believe in 3 tries. Your first guess is completely wrong, and the door light flashes red and the metal plate slides over the keypad. That's what you get for trying to break into my lab, human. Okay, guess not that keypad. Oh, gosh golly, what a shame, says Flowey. Guess we should leave now. Guess we can't save her, but unaware that this whole entire thing that's happened to Alphys literally is Gaster's fault. No, what do you mean it was my fault? It was technically your experiment that was left running that finally decided at that moment to explode and nearly kill Dr. Alphys. Things were out of my hand. I got stuck in the void. Yeah, you did, didn't you? Aren't you a clever bean? I'm very clever, but not clever enough to get myself out of that. I mean, we can't do anything now, right? Flowey presses. Come on, let's leave. The royal scientist isn't worth the effort. Trust me. You say that, Flowey, and yet we need Dr. Alphys to help save you. What are you talking about? Don't worry, it'll make sense much later. Nothing you can do. There is a way, though, isn't there? I don't know who we're talking to. A way to undo. You're going to go back in time before, haven't you? Yeah, you have. You technically had no choice. You kind of had to, because Papyrus is very good at killing you. Mind you, so is Sans. As you called your soul, surely you can call that other thing. The sensation of coming back to life. You focus on your soul. It beats in tandem to your heart. And you can do this. Can't you? Yes, you can. You breathe out slowly and focus on the last time you felt determination. Oh! Papyrus, are you okay? No, Sans. It's happening again, Sans. I'm hearing the word determination. It's okay, Papyrus. Why don't you take some of my souls and go reap them in peace? They're like the easy ones for you to do. They don't have determination, do they? No, they don't. Oh, goody. Oh, poor bro. Your world tilts and everything goes black and you feel hands on you. Oh my. Everything seems slow and uncomfortable. There is an immediate sense of wrongness about the situation that triggers a sense of panic within you. Death was bodiless and you have no sensation. Here, you arguably can feel too much. You were somewhat cold, and so very, very not alone, if obvious from all the hands. I mean, then again, disembodied hands would be very concerning. You guys ready for this? Gonna turn this up a bit more.
Well done, child.
Firstly, I am not a child, and thank you. I don't know why you were praising me though, but oh la la. I mean, oh dear, whose mysterious voice was that? We have like no idea who that could be. Ho ho. A shudder goes through you. Ho ho. Well, that was something. What do you mean? There was just this handsome, attractive voice speaking out in the void, and your best response to that was, oh, well, that was something. Yes, there was, like, creepy hands on you. Yes, you had a feeling of wrongness, but did you not hear that handsome voice that clearly suits Gaster? My character's like, but you did it. You're back in the laboratory before you tried the keypad. You decided to guess from a few more combinations. This might take some time, but that is something you have plenty of. When the door locks again, you know what you have to do. You go back into the void, regardless of the danger and the sensation, because who cares? I can do it as many times as I want, regardless of repercussions. Yay! There are hands on your shoulders, there are hands on your arms, and there are hands on your waist, and there's hands on your legs. You cannot see, and you cannot move. You're in a cold, black, inky sludge that weighs you down. Then you hear that voice again. Because you are you. I'm really confused why he chose to say that in that moment. It seems like the most random thing he could come up with in that moment to actually tell me. May have resulted in me punching him. But I really couldn't move anyway, so he was in no danger of getting smacked by me, so lucky for him. Now, if you don't know why Gaster is holding you, it's simple. If he's not holding onto you, you would sink into this place and you would become nothing. He is the only thing keeping you in peace, technically. If not for him literally grabbing onto you and keeping you there, you might have died, to be fair, or worse. So, yeah, we kind of owe our life to him in this moment. It's a distortion. It comes in staticky and glitchy in your head. Like listening to a broken radio. And I am me. Even though technically in this moment Gaster has no clue he is. Yes, that's the unfortunate thing, isn't it? That I have like no memory of who I am in this moment, but apparently I chose to say that to you. Hopefully it was insightful. It buzzes and cracks and it hurts to listen to. You want to flinch away from it, but you cannot move and it feels like it's inside you. I will help you. The hands tighten around you and say the following code. 071316. For everybody out there, yes, everybody out there, that code there, you can use it in Underswap in the library, alright? I don't see why my human's got to go and actually tell you directly what you need to do. It should have been pretty obvious. The one with hands. I speaking of hands. It's not that obvious that it was me. In fact, a lot of the Gasters seem to have the codes for some reason. Anybody else besides me notice Gaster's the keeper of the codes? When you're back again, whole, warm and alive, not in that void, you cannot help but reflectively suck in a big gulp of air. You shudder. You feel like you need a cold shower for your soul to cleanse that wrongness. What do you mean? It wasn't like full wrongness. There was a freaking handsome voice in there. It'd be like, forget all the wrongness you're feeling. What about who's after us? Is my character not even like remotely questioning in this moment? Like, well, I guess it's because they're more concerned about alphas because there was an explosion. But still, death was nothingness, but when you reset, you're in a place that is neither alive nor dead. aka you're in limbo. But the void is something completely different. When you reset, yeah, it's neither alive nor dead. You can only call it a void because there's no other word to describe it. It was an uncomfortable place and it feels wrong. It feels very, very wrong. 071316. Those were the numbers that the voice gave you. If they work, what does that mean? It could simply mean 1. He worked here and he knew the code. 2. He might have been a janitor. 3. He may have tortured someone for information and got the code. 4. He can mind read. I mean, there's many things you could come up with here as to why he knows this code. But the biggest question here should have been, why was he wanting to help you? That's what I would have asked. Why is he in the void? Why is he helping you? But we know why later. You make your way over to the door and your hands shake as you type in the number and the door slides open. Wow, first try, good job. Flowey praises you. Which, yeah, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't it this is one of the few Floweys that doesn't, the reset thing with him, because he didn't seem affected by this. So is it a reset? I thought Flowey would know when a reset happens normally, but by here he doesn't seem to acknowledge that one happened because he automatically assumed this was your first try when he should have technically felt the reset, right? Because you temporary reset to try again. Or is this Flowey one of the Floweys that doesn't acknowledge the resets? It's been a while. No, not first try, not by yourself. You take a shaky breath. Although you are not in the void, its presence lingers on you like a wet, icky blanket. Ugh. It feels so much more exhausting to reset than it does to die. What is that place? Why can you go there? Why is it so horrible? That's an excellent question. It would be interesting if we could learn more about the void's existence, why it's a thing. Are you okay? Flowey asks you. You are okay. You can do this. You give him a tired smile. It's time to progress. Let's say Dr. Alphys, who technically is pretty dangerous in general, since she also is technically a danger to Sans as well. You enter the corridor and once you see issues. Issues that your character does not think for a moment, oh, let's not do the damn thing. So, let's see if you guys can work out what you shouldn't do in this situation. The tiles are sterile white, as are the walls. The fluorescent light flickers ominously, and there is a partial cave-in down the hallway. Wall debris is stacked upon each other as live wires, and chunks of ceiling down from above. You cautiously walk down the hall. You can climb through the rubble, but it'll be a tight fit. There's only bare enough room for you and Flowey to crawl through. You hop on the concrete rubble and start to make your way through. The light continues to flicker, making it difficult to see. It also hurts your eyes. You finally made it through the other side and you swing your legs down and touch the floor. You just literally saw live wires, chunks of ceiling is dangling, the light is flickering, meaning we have an electrical fault already. Some of the wires and electricity is about the place and you need to be aware of your surroundings. My character is like, dumbass. There's a zing of energy. It doesn't hurt. It's over too quickly to hurt. Well, you've died. It is quiet without you. I believe it says it is quiet without you, that he says by here because he acknowledges it. You waste no time in typing in the code again. Okay, so I'm going to jump forward a little bit to like where we see Gaster again and just progress through. Alright, if you want to see like a proper run through this, just head on over to the If Underfell playlist. There'll be a link down below to it as well, so you guys can check that out. It'll have like different thumbnails compared to the ones for this one. So I will be back in a little second. Alright, so here we are back again, still in the lab. We're a little bit further down the elevator now, so Flowey is gone to sleep in our bag at this point because he's exhausted. He just helped us with the elevator scene. The hallway's a dead end and every door is locked tight with a passcode. At least there's power to some of the doors, if not the lights. Time for repeat. You take a deep breath and feel a surge of determination inside of you. Sans, I heard it again. It's okay, Papyrus, remember, it's only in horror tales you have to put up with the human. But Sans, I keep hearing it over and over again. Go to your happy place, Pop. I'm trying. You can tell, poor Papyrus is going to have a lot of trauma after all this. First try, first try, first try. You do your best to try and manifest the code you typed in the first time. Will it be so you can skip the void? You give it a shot and it doesn't work. Hell! With a grimace, you start to reset. Gah, it somehow got worse than the last time. You sink into an inky black sludge that feels like 1,000 centimeters made of goo climbing across you. The little legs prick your skin and make it itch. Meanwhile, the sludge continues to pull you further into the darkness and weighs you down. You are simultaneously drowning in gunk while gooey centipedes crawl across you. How freaking rude and ew! It's not painful, but the sense of wrongness you feel about this situation unnerves you and you feel nauseous. Then hands are on you again. So this by here, of course, as you can see, this is giving you an idea of what's happening. This is before he grabs you, so you know, you sink down into it. So that's what this scene is showing. It is literally letting you know that if he doesn't hold on to you, you're going to sink into this thing and drown. So you're gonna die. Probably permadeath. There is a way. Go through the vents. You return to reality and shudder. The distorted voice echoes in your mind, reverberating against your skull, and you rub your arms to eliminate the lingering sensation of having bugs crawling across you. The voice suggested the vents. Weirdly, he suggested the vents, if I'm honest. I don't imagine Gaster ever climbing through the vents, so I'm just assuming he remembers the blueprints of the building. So he's like, yes, vents, the best way down there. On the surface, the vents are too small to claw through, but perhaps it is different for monsters. You look around for an air vent. You find one at the bottom of one of the walls. It is easy to pry it off once you get a good grip. With the light of your soul, you have no trouble finding your way inside, and there's a layer of grime and dust in it, though. Gross. There's a larger attached to each vent going down, so you can effortlessly move down the floors. Okay. So, I'm not going to show you each of those rooms, only where it is relevant to Gaster, to be fair. Because kind of want to try and get as much of this in as possible. Okay, so we're going to explore the floor. Okay, so by here, I'm only going to read the scenes which are relevant to our said skeleton for this one. And then I think there's a reference later, but I don't know. Okay, so now let's enter the room on the far right. As soon as you enter this room, you feel an unnatural chill. A shiver inches its way down your spine, leaving the hair on the back of your neck standing. Everything in this room is well protected from the fire because it's all mostly metal and tempered glass. This looks like an operating room. There are metal tables in the center of the room. There's a clipboard with some paper next to one of the trays. You pick it up and it's dated a month ago. There's a sticky note on top of it that reads, "Delayed dissection to prioritize expansion in the East per King's orders." Okay, so Alpha said this. Transcript, dissection of X63. This is Dr. Alphys about to perform a dissection of subject X63, brought in by the judge. Transcribed for Transcript for initial observation will now begin. Subject 63 was kept in a vacuum for 15 years, 6 months and 3 days. After death, the vacuum perfectly preserved the corpse. Because the human body is 60% water, keeping the vacuum caused an interesting effect. The liquid in the body boiled, changing from liquid to gas. All tissue in the body expanded. Video shows embolism of the body. Upon entry of the vacuum, all liquid and gas pulled out of the orifices and caused a near instant freezing effect. Death was in less than 2 minutes. Dissection will confirm cause of death. Rewatching the death video does support initial hypothesis that a vacuum ray gun would be lethal against humans. As most monsters do not have water, it is possible they would survive a shot. Too muffled to track. I wish Dr. Gaster was here to discuss. He's much more familiar with monster anatomy. Computer, please start the camera and have it aimed at the table. Oh, and also confirm if ventilation system is working properly. Human corpses always reek. Ugh. I hope no more humans fall down. Computer, please make a note. Subject 63 has a dog tag that reads Nathaniel Cross. Please update our records to rename him. Long pause. I'm going to start now. End transcript. You set the clipboard down and look at the operating table, or rather, dissection table.
Oh my. I like the way you say dissection.
Behave. You move around the room and peruse some of the papers. It looks like there were many more dissections in this room. The captured humans. The monsters tested ways to have them effectively killed. From the notes between the scientists, they were searching for ways that would kill humans without hurting monsters. It's not surprising when you stop to think about it, from what... Oh, wait. The fact that they were looking for ways to kill humans without hurting monsters, was it... I'm really curious now if there was friendly fire involved in the Great War that maybe on accident, because like surgeon monster attacks are quite powerful, they might have accidentally incinerated some of their own. Just saying. From what you've gathered, the monsters have not had good encounters with humans. They are isolated, closed off, and the humans who previously fell down were hostile. You know that's not the way humanity is now. Looking at these timelines, you think these humans fell down on the time of the Great War. It's understandable why they would be hostile. It's a tragedy on both sides. The monsters, the humans. You can only hope to make things better going forward. You want to show them that humanity has changed. If you can do that, then maybe everyone would be happy. Looks like there's nothing else you can do in this room, and you want to explore this floor. Okay, so what has happened up to this point? We have gone ahead and gone through a few more rooms. We've had a look at a few things, and we came across a letter that was written by Gaster. We chose to pick up the letter and keep it. Always make sure to grab that letter and always keep it when on his route. Then we read through a few more like little notes that were left, and then we saw something apparently out of our peripheral vision. I believe we saw a glint, and we go on to investigate what the glint was. The glint comes from a wall of shells. On the shells are smooth black marble plates with a reddish hue. You stare at them for several seconds. You remember now where you had seen such things. Magic plates, you recognize it from your history textbooks. They were used prior to the invention of a video camera. You see a lot of them. Still has a glow. You pick one at random and tap it. Curious if it still works. There's a long pause and then the reddish hue vanishes. More colours take its place as the scene is built on the marble plate. It is a video with a grimy filter. The filter comes from the actual dust and grime on the marble plate. You try to rub it off to make it clearer. It doesn't help much. These plates have not been cleaned or cared for a long time. You choose to refocus on watching the video. You see a metal room and a table at the centre. There are more tables beside it lined with tools. It is too blurry to see the detail of the tools. You infer it is similar to an old-fashioned operating room due to the vague shapes and placement of objects. It actually looks remarkably similar to the previous room you were in, albeit with less equipment and messy papers. The image blinks and there's someone now on the table. It is a human woman. A knot forms in your gut as you realise she is without clothes. Oh dear! She is strapped down on the table. Her blue eyes are wide with blatant fear. Then you start to hear a whimper. Oh no, it feels unreal. You freeze, your mind doing an internal hiccup as you stare at the screen. The only time you've seen a similar situation was in a movie, but this is a vastly different situation. In a movie, you know it's not real. You know the scary things are make-believe and the people in them are okay. You do not think you've ever heard of any human who made it out of Underfell. Keep watching. You don't want to watch, yet you can't look away. A tall monster walks into the room. He has a long black coat that goes to the floor. It doesn't look normal. The ends of its wave and flicker like a candle shadow. You hear a shiver down your spine. You feel a shiver down your spine. Hello, says the monster. It's one word. It's not a word. It's a word you would use. Hello. There's nothing wrong with that word, so why does it give you a shiver when he says it? She's plainly terrified of her mind when his voice drips with freezing apathy. The red lights in his eyes are equally No. This gaze is not that of indifference. Indifference, you feel, would be even better. You have a bad feeling about this. I see my assistance has made you comfortable, continues the monster. He's a deep and smooth voice, but you can't ignore that chilling undertone. There is a cruel curiosity to this monster, and his eyes remind you of a child who found a new toy. Oh no. He walks around the table and you get a better look at him. He wears a red sweater underneath, that black coat with a pair of black pants. He looks distinctly familiar. You think he reminds you of Sans from a pirate, so perhaps he's a skeleton monster. He has long arms and white hands, perhaps bony hands? You squint to try and see, and you can't tell. More white hands are conjured in the air above and around him. Only hands, no arms attached to them. Kind of like in the Void. One hand goes over to the table and picks up a metal tool. Another picks up a clipboard beside the woman and hands it to the monster. Please, she croaks out. Please, the monster repeats. I told you everything, she whimpers. Please let me go home. Yes, it is noted here that you've been very cooperative, says the monster in an agreeable manner. You are our first human contact since the ceiling, so your kindness has been appreciated. On behalf of Underfell, we thank you. So, can I go? No, he says. We cannot leave. Why would you be able to? Her voice screws up and she whimpers, turns into hiccups as she starts to sob. Ah, yes, crying. Perhaps this will surely solve your situation, he says, sounding amused. Freaking Gaster. Please, she croaks. Please, please. Goes the monster as he reaches around the table and pulls out another strap by her head. Please let me. He wraps the strap around her mouth and she falls silent. Well then, that's what you get for annoying him. You see a glow around the strap. Perhaps magic? Was it enchanted to cancel noise? That's better, he says with a smile, and he gives you goosebumps. He steps back and takes the tool that had been picked up by one of the floating hands. I'll start the dissection now. Dissection? You realize what he's holding is a scalpel, and he drags the blade from the center of her chest down to her navel. You do not need to hear her screams to know she was. Ah! Even behind the strap of her mouth, her expression is contorted into agony. She writhes and thrashes against the bindings on the table, but it is to no avail. I know humans aren't supposed to dust when they die. It's been a long time ago. Who knows what has changed since the war? I have to be cautious. I don't want to waste this opportunity, he says. I will do my best to keep her alive through this process. Since I'm doing my best, I hope you also would do your best to survive. He smiles, stretches. Then in the next experiment, I'll let you take something to numb the pain. He pauses and he smiles. Maybe. The video shuts off. The black marble plate has a reddish hue again. Red like her blood. You glance at the rest of the crystal tables. There must be over hundreds of them. 100 experiments. You are nauseous. This is horrible. You feel terrible for the victims. You feel terrible for the monsters. A few minutes later, after of course we went being super nosing through the lab, we eventually come across Alphys. We save her, and in exchange, she willingly agrees to help Flowey. And then we leave our little friend, head off into the city, where I then avoid Sans as much as possible, because if you're not on his route, he tries to kill you. So yes. This is just some time later after we've done like the whole shenanigans. So I will see you in a bit. Okay, so now we're at the core. Well, at the city actually. So now we're finally in the city, and so we have talked to Metatron, we've done all that stuff, and we're about to come up to the elevator, I believe. And we suddenly decide that we should probably go and check on our entity friends. So let's go and check on Gaster. You need to find a spot out of the way. You know going into the void tires you out. You move off to the main road and lean against the side of one of the buildings. And you take a deep and steady your heart. You put your hands in your pocket and you feel the paper you had taken earlier. And you pull it out again. So... okay, if I'm right, I'm not mistaken in this, am I? I'm sure this is... this one by here. I'm sure this says, research shows the human soul is capable of entering the void, but it causes immense strain. Captured human souls have only been able to survive the void twice before evaporating. Infusing my magic in a soul has caused it to survive 5 times in a trip to the void. Testing with regular monster magic results in a 2-way trip survival. Magic carried by alphas. Testing with another boss monster magic results in 5 trip survival. Sans because you're stronger than alphas. There seems to be an inheritance resistant to the void for the boss monster magic. A human soul is still required to enter and leave the void, but boss magic is required to survive it, which is very important. I want to see what the humans see. Let's see. I want to know what's in the void. Yeah. The more you stare at it, the more you feel like you know these symbols. Why do you know these symbols? And again, I'm not sure if this is correct. If this is the original note. I'm pretty sure this is it, where Gaster wants to see what's in the void. And then he gets his wish. He gets his request at the worst of times, because he and Sans get into a fight and he nearly kills Sans. And then he wants to... he leaves and he doesn't get to apologize to him and then disappears for 20 years. Be careful what you wish for. Karma comes in very mysterious and ways, I'll tell you. Okay, so the more you stare at it, the more you feel like you know these symbols. Why do you know these symbols? You think carefully. If they're not symbols you've seen on the surface, you are very certain. You do not look like any of the dead human language, nor is there any similarity to the current writing. Did you see these in the ruins? But no, you couldn't read the symbols in the ruins. These you should be able to read, or at least you think you should be able to. Why? You squint your eyes, and then it occurs to you, the entities. These symbols, they look how the entity talks in your head. If that static language had a writing one, you're positive this is it. Does this belong to the entity? Let's find out. You close your eyes and let yourself slip into the void. Hands are on you right away. That horrible wrongness prevails over all else, but at the hands are familiar. You know these hands. These are the entities. Has the entity found a way out of the void yet? Not yet. Does he recognize the paper in your hand? The hands move down you. You feel them slide across your abdomen and sides. They rummage through your sweater pocket. There's a long pause. Yes, there's excitement in the entity's voice. This is mine. I remember now. I know who I am. I'm Wingerding's Gaster. That's wonderful. Does that mean he knows how to escape? Maybe. Let me think it over. All around good news. You're relieved to leave the void, both because it's a horrible place you hate and because Wingerdings might be able to escape. Oh, Biscuit, you want to throw up. You brace yourself against your knees and take many deep breaths. You really hate that place. You start to understand you want to walk off the feeling of the void. Alright, so yeah, we just saw Gaster. So I will pop back when we find out a boy again. Okay, so welcome to this wonderful scene here. So this by here is when we can finally lock in Wingerdings' route. So we went to the castle and we thought we sensed the presence. We went into a room and our little ghost friend gives a gift. You feel something small and cold grasp in your hand. You freeze. By the time you turn around to look, you see nothing there. But there is something in your hand now, a golden locket. Your red and pink eyes widen as you realise that this is the locket to go with the chain. You pull the chain out of your pocket and sure enough it's the perfect fit for the clasp. Oh, how romantic. Lockets fell out of style before you were born, but you've seen them in movies and read about them from books. They're supposed to be used to carry a picture of someone you love, or at least someone who's in your heart. It's a warm sentiment, and you hold the locket in your hand. You can't help but think you'd like to see Wingerdings inside. Wouldn't that be nice? Click! There's a clicking sound from the locket. You unfurl your hands and it pops open. Your eyes widen. It's the skeleton monster from the video you'd watched in the lab. The one who you knew it in the back of your mind. There was a good chance he and Wingerdings were the same. You think this locket confirmed it? Or it's a very crazy coincidence that the magic locket pops up and shows you that picture. You knew it. Yet you still thought of him anyway. Your heart warms and you hold the locket close to you. Your lips turn into a smile, even though technically we're literally referring to the moment where he's torturing a woman. And like experimenting and dissecting. And my character's like, oh, Wingerdings, yeah! I hope you make each other happy. You're startled from the whisper and you look around, but you don't see anyone. You thank them for the chain in the locket. You think it's time to leave a most definitely haunted room, and you head into the hallway. Thank you. You're welcome. You look back down at the locket. You wonder if perhaps Wingerdings has made progress. While you strongly resent the void, you have the opposite feeling for Wingerdings, and that is enough to make you go back in. You first leave the hallway. You have no desire to rest against such dusty walls and head back to the front. You take a deep breath inside of yourself and then fall into the void. The hands are on you in an instant. They grip your face, your arms, your sides, your hips, your legs. Hello, dear human. The distorted voice bounces in your head as you sink further into wrongness. You think it's gotten easier to hear the voice, however. It takes you a moment to find your voice in the sea of cold, icy blackness. Inky blackness. You ask Wingerdings if he has any idea on how to free himself. Yes. That's great. Is there something you can do? Yes, I need your help. He's got it. What does he need? We first must go to the barrier, and then I need to borrow your soul for a brief period of time. You shiver as he talks. The void presses on you in every direction. It almost is too much. You do your best to bear with the discomfort. You'd like a little bit more elaboration. I will use the power of the barrier to free myself, but a human soul is required to enter and leave the void. I need yours as a beacon. That makes sense. You think. It's getting harder to focus the longer you linger, and you agree. The barrier is behind the castle. Take the hall on the left and follow the path. Do not cross the barrier. There's an extra enchantment. You'd like to ask more, but your soul aches from the void touch. You must leave. You gasp for air as soon as you leave, and you dry heave, retching and shuddering from the lingering effects. You hate it. You breathe through your nose and out of your mouth. One breath. At 30, you no longer feel sick. Left hallway, you said, and so down the left hallway you go. You go down the left hallway. Alright. As you walk down the left hallway, you admire the paintings. All of them were hand-painted and depict pretty environments. They range from mountains to oceans to the night sky, and you wonder who painted them. There are candlesticks in the walls. A crimson flame flickers to life as you walk by them. This must be a magical equivalent to an autolight. How neat! You'd like to have one of your own someday. This hallway, you are pleased to note, is not covered in dust, grime, and cobwebs. At the far end of the hall is a door. You push it open and are pleasantly surprised to find a magical garden. Beautiful yellow, white and orange flowers blossom around a brick path. There are tall trees with golden leaves and orange-coloured rose bushes. There are lampposts with yellow-tinted magical crystals there, mimicking that of the sun, although it is without warmth. You follow the path. You take the time to stop and smell the flowers. The path winds around the castle and is built further into the cave, and then you see something strange. It must be the barrier. Noise hums all around you as you approach it, and when you're close enough to get a proper look, you see a wall of white. It must be the barrier Wingerdings said. It's at the back of the castle, which is where you are now, and it's a literal wall of humming white light blocking an entire cave. Your next step is to let Wingerdings borrow your soul. Ah, biscuits, you have to go back in the void, but this could be the last time you fervently hoped. You don't give yourself time to warm up. You're excited to be done with the void forever, so you fall straight in and into the hands that you've come to know so well. You slide into the pool of darkness and tell Wingerdings you're at the barrier. Thank you, my dear. You ask him what you need to do next. Please, show me your soul. That is something you can do. You're actually really glad at it now. You're really good at it now. You present your soul. The hands moves to grasp it. Oh. You want to flinch away from their touch. It's ice cold on bare skin. You don't take away your soul, however. You certainly wants to leave the void as much as you do, after all. The hands tighten around it and you feel something. An echo of magic, perhaps? There's a reverberation of noise in your mind. First tangly and then messy, but not for long. There's a sensation of being enveloped entirely by that faint magic. You no longer feel wrongness of the void, only that magic. His magic, Wingerdings. You sink into it, body and soul. Good, this may... He cuts himself off. There's a surge in his magic, and you catch an emotion that doesn't belong to you. Curiosity. Then you catch another. Surprise. And then another. Delight. He just spotted your feelings. He's like, huh? Oh my. Hello. What's this? You have a spot for me in your heart. Wingerdings' voice feels different in your mind. While he's never been rude to you, the way he spoke to you now just feels different. Warmer. The hands around your soul become gentle in their grip. This'll only take a moment, and the moment is over. There's a warm breeze against your skin, and when you open your eyes, you're no longer in the void. The magic that enveloped you is gone, as is the barrier. Did it work? It did, my dear. You turn around to face the owner of the voice. He stands very tall as Papyrus, if not more. He's a dead ringer for the tall monster in the video you watched, and for one, whose face is inside the locket. The only difference is this monster has a crack in his face. One splits from the top of his skull and goes through his right eye, and another crack forms from his left and goes down to his spiky mouth. This is Wingerdings' Gaster, and he gives you a bow. You make a move to step closer to him to greet him properly, but your legs give out from underneath you and you fall forward. Wingerdings catches you with ease. There now, pulling a monster out of the void is taxing for a soul. Using the same soul to funnel raw magic to accomplish that is doubly so. You should take it easy. You thank Wingerdings for catching you. You do feel remarkably tired, like you just finished a marathon. You look up at him and give him a smile. He returns you a smile. My, in the void I could only see your soul. I thought it was too beautiful for this world. Now I see it simply imitates the flesh. Oh my. Do we want to flip back to him? Let's just flip back to him, why not? His smile curls further and he pulls you to your feet and into him, resting one hand onto the small of your back. With his other hand he runs it through your tightly curled white hair. Thank you, he says in a rumbly voice. You saved me. Let's see. Let's see. See, I would be mumbling. He leans down and presses forward against yours. He feels cool against your skin. Simple thank you feels too little. You put your hands on his chest and tilt your head up to bump your nose into his face. You ask him what else he has in mind. I can think of several things, he purrs. What a ludicrous sight. Shut up, Asgore! States a deep voice. You hear a tut-tut noise from Wingerdings as he lifts his head away from you to look at the owner of the voice. You also turn your head. It's another goat monster. He is massive in stature with grey fur, a black beard and dark armour that glints gold in the light. His red cape flutters behind him as he struts closer to you two. On his head is a three-spiked gold crown. Hello, King Asgore, Wingerdings says flatly. The king stares at the two for a moment and he dryly asks, should I come back later? Wingerdings and you immediately say yes. Yeah, just come back later. We don't need you here. We're busy. Go away. Asgore scoffs. Now I understand why the human has been so confident in travelling through Underfell and how it managed to... Hold on! Hold the phone! Wait a minute! Hold on! He just called me an it! What do you mean I'm an it? Excuse you? I did not notice he called me an it. He called me an it! Why, you wretched goat! How come I'm only now noticing he called me an it? Did I ever point that out before that this wretched man called me an it? How dare you call me an it? I am a her. Excuse you. Here I am having a go at Wingerdings in freaking underswap when apparently Asgore did it first. And how it managed to dissuade my royal guards. Oh, shut up. Oh ho. Wingerdings cocks his head. Managing to seduce my top scientist explains it all. You must have... He lets out a low tap. I came in much later, your majesty. King Asgore raises a brow at that. Then there's no reason to be so attached. Return to my side, Gaster. We can restore the barrier by the end of the day. I don't want to. He doesn't want to. He's mine. Get your paws off. He's mine. Wingerdings rubs his right hand up and down your back. And give up her soul? I think not. Wingerdings smiles coldly. Come now, your majesty, you're a smart monster, and I'm a vastly smarter monster. We both know where this is going. Do we really need to drag out the pleasantries? You've always been stupidly stubborn when something catches your attention, says Asgore with a shake of his head. A pity it now leads you to your dusting. Don't threaten him. Attention feels too small of a word, says Wingerdings. Do you honestly believe I fight you with something as meaningless as a passing fancy? Then what would you call this? The king gestures to you. Isn't it clear? There's only one thing worth the fight. We both know. I don't care one way or another if the monsters stay underground or go to the surface. Make peace with humanity or go to war with humanity. It doesn't matter to me at all. All of it pales in comparison to my work. Asgore's yellow eyes narrow into slits. You cannot possibly mean that you have in the process, Wingerding says, cynically. He waves his left hand in a dismissive manner. She's still young, you know, but her soul speaks for itself. You kindly asked for an explanation. Apologies, my dear, says Wingerdings. Your Majesty, do you mind? Asgore snorts distractedly. This I have to hear. I will shut up just because your wife actually went to the extent to try and break her soul thingy with you. Doesn't mean Gaster can't have a loyal one with him. Wingerdings moves his hand to your hips. He turns you to face him fully. He says, because you are you and I am me. You were able to find me in the void. For 20 years no one else has been able to achieve this. Yet you did. By accident, no less? Can you guess why? You shake your head. Wingerdings smiles at you. My dear, do you know what a soulmate is? You do. You even read about the monster's perspective on soulmates in the lab. You happily nod. Good. Are you familiar with the term soul acceptance? Yes, you read about that. It's a test between two souls to check for compatibility as soulmates. You could find me. You were drawn to me and I, you. Because our souls have perfect compatibility, he explains. Wait, does that mean, is he implying you and Wingerdings could be soulmates? Yes, he says, and that is something worth fighting for. Wow, but wait. You don't want him to fight. You don't want anyone to fight. There's no need to do that. I couldn't have said it better myself, dear human. Oh, Mama Tori, to the rescue. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, goody, goody, we're getting to the good part. Tori strides through the garden. Her golden eyes are bright and she keeps her head held high. She's not alone in a march and you see many monsters behind her. You see Frogget and Napsapluke, the dogs from Snowden, Shiren, the children you met at Waterfall, Mettaton and his staff, and the royal guards with Papyrison and Dye at the lead. Even Sans is there. There's so many of them. They fill up the garden and surround you all. Enough is enough, says Tori. Tori? King Asgore stares at her in blatant disbelief. You came back to me. No, I did not, actually. She coldly rebuffs. I came for the human, for Twinkle. She raises her chin and glowers down at Asgore. And for monster kind, you take one step towards that woman and Gaster and you will have to face me. I like Mama Tori. She's like, bring it on. Bring it on, bring it on. I'm ready for a fight. Okay, I'm so confused as well where our music is gone. Hold on. Castle? There we go. I don't know why we haven't got that there. And me, adds Papyrus. The dogs howl in unison, each holding up a stick. As we all know, sticks are very dangerous. Be afraid. Siren sings, the hands of the void that guide you. It's over, says Sans. He gives a sharp, toothy grin. We're tired of this, so unless you want to have a hell of a time. Wingerdings chuckles. My, looks like this will be even more one-sided than I expected. King Asgore looks at the monsters around him. Not only them, says a voice that feels familiar to you. The monsters part ways to make room for a new monster. He's a goat monster with bright golden eyes and red pupils, like Toriel and Asgore. Trailing behind him is Dr. Alphys. Tori gasps. Ezreal? Oh, hi, says Ezreal. I wasn't expecting to see you here, Mother. Tori rushes to him and immediately hugs him. Ezreal? King Asgore's expression darkens to wariness. Is that truly you? It is, he says, awkwardly patting Toriel's back like, Mom, not in front of everyone. Look, I know you're happy to see me and all that, but my friend is over there. You're kind of embarrassing me, Mom. I see you still haven't trimmed that awful beard of yours. Asgreal's eyes widen and he suddenly grins and strides forwards. My boy, my son. One awkward family hug at a time, Azrael complains. And besides, you were about to tell my friend. Friend? You live between Azrael and Dr. Alphys. Wait, Flowey? Howdy, Twinkle, says Azrael. He gives you a grin. Glad to see you're okay. You are okay, right? Yes! You go to hug him, but you realize that your legs are still tired and you require Wingadings for support. Twinkle is fine, says Wingadings, simply tired from a very, very long day. Good, says Azrael. Mother, please let me go now. I need to talk to Father. I so want him to just punch him again. Dang it. Tori squeezes Azrael and she reluctantly lets him go. Azrael strides closer to his father, King Asgore. Father, it is time this feud with humanity comes to an end. It is time the monsters return to the surface. Azrael, no! Azrael cuts him off. This isn't an argument or something up for debate. You won't win this. You can't win this. I understand the war changed you. I know those memories are hard to let go, but it's time. Don't stop us. Twinkle has shown us that humans and monsters can be friends again. Let us try. Asgore stares at Azrael. He smiles faintly. I cannot win this. Good, because I still want an apology. You call me an it, and apparently I didn't notice you called me an it this whole time. How freaking rude. He looks over to you. Human. No. Twinkle. You said the world does not need to be killed or be killed. Do you truly believe that? You meet his gaze. Yes, you do. It's not kill or be killed. It's save or be saved. You smiled at Asgore. It's time for him to be saved now. Otherwise, he's welcome to fight everybody here. I mean, that's quite a lot of people he's got to get through, though. I'm just saying, that's a lot of people. Then so it shall be. He utters quietly. The bear is already destroyed. Together, let us leave. Yes, together. Azrael immediately goes over to you and Wingadings. Do you want me to carry you? He frets when he realizes how tired you are. No need, says Wingadings. I can. Wingading winces and sways. Oh, are you okay? Asks Azrael. You're Dr. Gaster, right? Yes, Twinkle pulled me out to the void shortly before your father arrived, explains Wingadings. We're both winded from that. We'll be fine. Simply need a moment. Just one, drawls Sans. Brother! Explains Papyrus as he and Sans also head over to you two. You are back! Where were you? Experiment gone wrong, says Wingading. So sorry. Yeah, your experiment went wrong at the worst possible time. After you had nearly killed Sans, you took him to Tori to get him recovered, and then all of a sudden, the experiment he's been working on this whole entire time finally freaking works, and then he gets sucked into the void. Instant karma for what happened. And he got stuck in there for 12 years or something? Poor baby. He does not sound sorry. You're a fucking dumbass, Sans says flatly. And you're an impulsive, foul-mouthed brat, snaps Wingadings. You can't keep calling me a brat. I will call you a brat so long as you act like a brat. Papyrus stomps his right foot on the ground. Stop fighting! Gah! Honestly, there's one thing I don't miss, is you two constantly arguing with each other. Oh, I'm going to have to get used to it again and deal with migraines. Oh, come on, Paps. It's good to have him home, even if he's an ass. Says you little gremlin. Hey, you tell Wingadings perhaps he should catch up with his family. You want to check up on Azrael anyway. Wingadings seems reluctant to let you go. His expression becomes very pinched. You reassure him it'll only be for a brief period, that it's okay to let you go. Didn't miss your own brothers at all, Sans mocks? Hurtful. You're gonna make Pop cry. I will not cry. I just imagine Papyrus standing there, just like a tear tries to come over his eyes, and he's like, no, don't you dare, and wills it back in. Says Papyrus, but his voice tells a different tale. I'm happy to have our brother back. There's no reason to cry. You tell Papyrus that is a very good reason to cry. Thank you, human, but I am fine. He clears his throat several times. Oh my god, baby needs a hug. Everybody go hug Papyrus. He's such a sweet bean. You give Wingadings a pointy look. I suppose I did miss you too, he says in an air of reluctance. Azrael, if you would please. Azrael carefully picks you up. Wow, he's strong. He beams at you. My friend! Your friend! You hug each other. Gah. You hear Wingedings cry out from behind you. You pull away from Azrael long enough to see the Sans body tackle Wingedings to the ground with Papyrus, which is understandable because the last time they saw each other and everything, Sans was unconscious. He got attacked, and when Wingedings accidentally lost control and lost his temper, he nearly killed him. So to like finally have his brother back, and then it would be nice to see them like be able to like talk about it later, and like Wingedings finally like openly apologizing to him. But you know, maybe sometimes there are some apologies that really don't need words. It's like long in the past anyway, and Sans has grown since then. And so has Gaster, kind of. I mean, he didn't remember who he was the whole entire time. But it's definitely changed from being the human torturing vision. Let's see. Wingedings looks severely displeased as he pats both of their backs. Wingedings complains, "You two are not children anymore. It was only 20 years. Only!" Sans starts to hit Wingedings. "You jackass! For once, I'm in agreement with Sans' temper," Papyrus says. "Stop that, Sans. I'm very tired and can't circulate my magic to soften your blows," Wingedings protests. "Good. Why must your affection always be so violent?" "Pot meets kettle," snaps Papyrus. "What was that?" Wingedings glowers. "Let's give them some space," says Azrael as he carries you away. "How are you, Twinkle?" "Good. Excited for what's to come." Azrael smiles at you and then notices the lock around your neck. "Oh, where did you get that?" "A ghost child." "What?" "Never mind. A ghost child, you know, like you do. You normally get lockets from ghost children. It's fine. It's nothing to be worried about. It's a normal thing to find a ghost child that's like willing to give you free jewelry. As they do." Let's continue. "The magic in that locket shows who's in your heart," says Azrael. His smile softens. "I used to have a matching one. May I see inside?" You open the locket to show Azrael the picture inside. His smile softens. In that case, he holds out a hand. There's a distortion of magic in the air and the locket materializes. It falls into your lap since he's carrying you. "I think this should go with you. You should give it to the other person." You ask Azrael if he's sure. "Yeah." He leans down and presses his forehead against yours for a few seconds. "Oh, it's so cute." "I want you to be happy, Twinkle. You're my best friend." You tell Azrael you feel the same. He's your best friend. "My dearest one," says Tori as she and Asgo approach you. "Are you ready?" You and Azrael exchange a joyous looks. Yes, together you and the monsters leave the underground. You feel strong enough to walk as soon as you smell the fresh air. Azrael gently sets you down. He keeps a paw on your shoulder in case you need help. "I will take it from here," says Wingedings. He quickly comes over to your side, Papyrus and Sans closely behind him. Azrael looks to you. "Are you sure?" You reassure Azrael it's okay. Azrael gives you a friendly nuzzle. "Okay, call me over if you need help, or want him gone." Wingedings scoffs. And pulls you close to him. You tell Wingedings to be nice to your friend. "I am being nice," he says. "I don't share very well." "That is very true," says Papyrus. "He's a bastard," says Sans. "Our bastard, but still a bastard." You give Sans a look. He coughs and looks away from you. "Sans," Wingedings says quietly with a sturdy undertone. "Why is she giving you that look? What did you do?" "Nothing." You tell Sans he owes you a lot of it. 175, actually. "Noted," agrees Sans. "Come on, Pops, let's give him some space." "Why?" "Because I want to live," Sans says dryly. Papyrus sighs. "What did you do, brother?" "Nothing," he says again, walking ahead. Papyrus falls behind him. You and Wingedings move with the group, stepping out of the cave and into the fresh air. It's dark outside, yet brightening every second. You hear gasps from the monsters around you. You hear choked back sobs. You hear oohs and ahs and whimpers and hiccups. You hear them whisper and speak to one another as they all exit the underground to stand on a ledge overlooking the mountain. The barrier had been at a cave entrance. There was a wide overlook that showcased the forest at the bottom of the hill, and the city that rests at the edge of the forest. Tall scrapers skyscrapers climb into the sky, each building bright with light. The monsters notice and point out to it with their voices getting louder, and then all goes silent when the first crack of light peeks out over the horizon. No one speaks, no one moves. It is their first sunrise. They watch in complete silence, and when you look around, you see many of them openly crying, their tears falling down their face, and some have collapsed to their knees, holding their hands over their mouths to keep from weeping out loud. You smile, your own eyes burning. Yes, this is it. It's not a kill or be kill world. It's a save or be saved world. And you saved them. Well done, Wingerdings whispers to you. You feel impressed against the top of your head in a manner similar to a kiss. Oh, that's right. Your potential soulmate. You turn to face Wingerdings, curious if he wants to seriously pursue you. Don't you? He asks you in return. You tug on your locket. Ah, those were popular many years ago, he says. I'm surprised you have one. You telling me you have a matching one too? One for him. For me? He asks. Yes. You open your locket to reveal his face inside, and you give him a smile. Does he think his would have a picture of you inside? Wingerdings turns you to face him, chuckling. My time in the void was hell, he says. Your soul saved me. You saved me. He places a hand on your chest, over your heart. I am a greedy monster, Twinkle. If I know there's a spot for me in your heart, I will devour you whole. Yes, please. Oh my god. Good human. He purrs, moving his hands up to cup your face, and you sink into each other. True happy ending. Wingerdings' route. Oh, I do love the kiss at the end. Oh my. It really seems like everything is working out for the best. Your journey, your struggles, none of it was in vain. You saved them, all of them. And you didn't make it out alone. The Gaster family moved to the surface right next door to you, and your new home as a VIP ambassador. You had to move into a magically secured home of your choosing in the city. You and Wingerdings see each other daily, and you are quick to learn you two are very compatible. Being with him is as easy as breathing, and at times as hot as jumping into lava. The two of you keep each other on your toes. While happy to have found your potential soulmates, you make sure not to lose touch with your friends you've made. Most notably, Ezreal has become a huge part of your life. He became the new king of monsters and helps you integrate the two society. You are dear friends, at work and outside of it. He also gives the second best hugs. Wingerdings, of course, is the first in your heart. You spend time with Toriel and Asgore. Every so often, Tori bakes you a special pie and loves to give you hugs. You hung out with Papyrison and I, your semi-regular on Medaton's TV show on the surface, and you attend all of Shiren's concerts and are the first to buy her new album, The Hands of the Void That Guide You. You visit the school in the city where the monster kids start to attend. They enthusiastically introduce you to their new human friends. You had to talk them all out of trying to jump off of another waterfall with their new friends multiple times. You meet up with all the dogs from Zone every month for a game of poker, which is second to law. Wingerdings has expressed concern for your inability to hold a poker face. Everything is as should be. Everyone is happy, and you're the reason for that. Thank you, Twinkle. Thank you for falling into Underfell. Thank you for showing them kindness. Thank you for staying determined, and thank you for being you. Okay. Welcome to the end of the video. Yes, everybody, this is Gaster's romance route in its entirety. And I know some people are going to be like, wait, but we were promised voice acting. I know it's only partially voiced. I already explained this. So in terms of who has the most voice acting lines, I believe it's Sans, followed by Papyrus, then there's Asgore, and then it's Wings. Because we don't get to fight Wingerdings, and Wingerdings really doesn't get a chance to have certain pages where it's just one line of dialogue for him to read. So that's why. Now, yeah, head over to the community tab, go vote. Which boy do you want? Do you want Sans or do you want Papyrus? Go, go, go. As for everybody else, if you're here for updates on if mafiafell, don't worry, I'm recording that. In fact, you'll be getting double features of mafiafell. And I will be going back through the romance route to get all the hidden messages. And on top of that, we are still waiting for Date Me. We're waiting for Nightmare's Castle. We're also waiting for the DLC for none other than the Bad Sanses. There's some other stuff I was supposed to mention, but I totally forgot what they were. Yay me. And, of course, Sunday Run with Sunny Day Jack will be returning tomorrow because I literally was procrastinating if I could show a scene. It was important, but obviously YouTube said no, because it is too spicy for YouTube. Even though technically to me it is pretty censored, but you know, you never know how sensitive it gets. So I didn't know if I could show like a censored version, uncensored version. I don't know. So I'll just do what I did here. I'll just butt in and just tell you what happened in a scene, okay? Great, fantastic, wonderful. Off I go. Bye bye everyone. Thanks for watching. And go and hit the like and head then over to the poll. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. I probably totally forgot something, so boo. I can't remember what I forgot.